The Pact of the Silver Circle. The tavern at Dawn's Hollow was alive with the crackle of firelight and the murmur of voices. The weary travelers who passed through rarely stayed longer than a single night, for the land was dangerous, and the safety of the tavern's walls could not be guaranteed once the sun set. But tonight, the air was different, charged, as though the land itself held its breath. Edric of Blackmere sat at a table in the far corner, his back to the wall. Before him was a map, its edges frayed, its surface marked with inked lines and symbols. Around the table sat 3 others, their faces etched with the weariness of those who had seen too much. "We all know what waits for us beyond the Black Spire," Edric said, his voice low but steady. "The dragon kin do not fight alone. Their shadow spreads into the hearts of men. If we fail, it's not just our lives, it's Albion's soul that will fall." The others exchanged glances. They were an unlikely group, brought together by fate and necessity. Riven of Ironwood, a former sellsword whose twin axes gleamed in the firelight. He claimed to care only for gold, but the scars on his arms told a story of battles fought for causes greater than coin. Liara the Whisper, a rogue from the southern cities. Her daggers were swift, her words sharper. She had once served as a spy, but betrayal had left her unmoored. Brother Aldane, a wandering monk who carried no weapon save for his faith. His words could calm the most restless of spirits, and his presence was a balm to the weary. They had gathered here not by choice, but by the necessity of the task ahead. Beyond the Black Spire lay the lair of Karnyx, a dragon said to embody corruption. Unlike other dragonkin, Karnyx did not rule through fire or brute force, but through the twisting of wills. Those who entered its lair often left as its thralls, their minds bent to its will. Edric traced a line on the map. "The Silver Circle is our only chance," he said. "If we face Karnyx divided, it will break us, but if we stand together, we might have a chance." The Silver Circle was an ancient ritual, a pact forged in blood and trust. It bound those who entered into a single purpose, sharing their strength and resilience. But it came at a cost. If one fell, the others would feel their pain, their burden growing heavier with each loss. "I don't make pacts," Riven said, crossing his arms. "I fight my own battles." Liara leaned back in her chair, one hand on the hilt of her dagger. "Sounds like a good way to die faster." Brother Aldane placed a hand on the table, his voice calm. "The circle is not about control or surrender. It is about trust. If we cannot trust one another, we will fail before we even begin." Edric's gaze swept over the group. "You all have reasons to refuse. But ask yourselves this: will your reasons matter if Albion falls?" The decision was made in silence. One by one, they extended their hands over the table. Edric drew a blade, its edge glinting in the firelight, and made a small cut on each palm. As the blood fell onto the table, it formed a perfect circle, pulsing faintly with an otherworldly light. "I, Edric of Blackmere, swear to carry this burden," he said, his voice steady, "to stand with you, to share in your pain and your strength." "I, Riven of Ironwood," the sellsword grumbled, though his tone was less harsh. "Let's hope you're worth it." "I, Liara the Whisper," the rogue said, her words lighter but no less serious. "If this goes sideways, I'm blaming you." "I, Brother Aldane," the monk intoned, his voice serene. "May the light guide us all." As the final oath was spoken, the circle flared with light, binding them together. The warmth of the pact surged through them, a connection unlike anything they had felt before. Each could sense the other's presence, their strengths and fears laid bare. Edric looked at the others. "The circle is made. Whatever comes, we face it together." The Black Spire loomed like a dagger against the stormy sky, its surface slick with rain and shadow. The group moved as one, their steps silent, their breaths measured. The entrance to the lair yawned before them, its darkness alive with a faint sickly glow. Inside, the air was heavy with the stench of rot and the faint whispers of unseen voices. The walls pulsed as though alive, veins of green light snaking through the stone. Karnyx awaited them in the heart of the cavern. The dragon was massive, its scales shimmering with an oily sheen. Its eyes burned with an unnatural green fire, and its voice was a low, resonant hiss. "Fools," it said, its words sliding into their minds. "You think yourselves strong, but you are nothing. Your doubts, your fears, they are mine to command." The whispers in the lair grew louder, pressing against their minds. Liara faltered, her daggers trembling in her hands. Riven's grip on his axes tightened, his face pale. But then the circle pulsed, its warmth cutting through the noise. Each of them felt it, a shared strength, a connection that pushed back against the dragon's influence. "Together!" Edric shouted, charging forward with vigilance raised. The fight was brutal, the dragon's power overwhelming. Karnyx's claws tore through stone, its breath a wave of corruption that withered everything in its path. But the group fought as one, their movements synchronized by the circle's bond. Riven's axes struck with ferocity, each blow opening a path for Edric's sword. Liara darted in and out of the shadows, her daggers finding weak points in the dragon's scales. Brother Aldane chanted prayers, his words a shield against the dragon's corrosive influence. Karnyx roared, its tail lashing out and sending Riven crashing into the wall. The circle flared, and the others felt his pain, their strength faltering. "I'm fine," Riven growled, forcing himself to his feet. "Keep going." Edric seized the moment, plunging vigilance into Karnyx's chest. The dragon screamed, its body convulsing as the circle's light poured through the blade, consuming it from within. As Karnyx fell, the lair began to crumble, the shadows retreating. The group staggered out into the open air, their bodies battered, but their spirits unbroken. The circle pulsed one final time before fading, its work done. They looked at one another, their faces lined with exhaustion, but filled with a newfound respect. "We lived," Riven said, a hint of disbelief in his voice. "Didn't think that would happen." Liara smirked. "Maybe we make a good team after all." Edric sheathed his sword, his gaze turning to the horizon. "This isn't over. But whatever comes, we face it together." The story of the Silver Circle spread across Albion, a tale of unity and sacrifice, and in the quiet halls of Dawn's Hollow, a new flame burned. One kindled not by victory alone, but by the bond of those who chose to stand as one.